Okay, looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. My name is Verde Arbusto, and this is the Schumann Resonance Harmonics channel on YouTube and Facebook. It is the 29th, what's today? Wednesday, 29th of July, 2020. The basic reason for doing this video is to talk about the ringing in the ears, ringing in the ears, ringing in the ears, and what is so-called tinnitus. There is what I would call capital tinnitus with a capital T, and tinnitus with a lowercase t. The difference is one is a certified medical condition, and the other is what you might call an Ascension symptom. Okay, so we're going to look at tinnitus not from what it is, whether or not you or I have a medical condition, but we're going to talk about it so that a person can know what tinnitus is and rule it out as a particular thing that's happening in your life. All right. So, ringing in the ears, one of the most common comments relative to the Schumann is the concern of ringing in the ears. Tinnitus is a legitimate medical concern. Yet, if this is ruled out by a medical professional, then what is this ringing, which everyone seems to be sensing? We're going to talk about the cause of what the ringing may be from the perspective of the Schumann, as I said. All right. So we're going to look at what the inner ear is, and we're going to discuss tinnitus. All right. Oh, where are we? All right. So I just want to, first what we're going to do is just give a basic introduction to the inner ear. So this right here, that you can see, becomes this. All right. Now, these right here are crystals that are found in the shifted crystal. See, they're giving you a little diagram, and I'm going to go over this a little better so you can see it. I don't know if you can really see it here, but, and I'm not all right, so first let me say this. I am not a medical professional. Actually, before I even get into any of the ear stuff, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a licensed, trained medical professional. I think it's important to understand that. What I'm saying is from the perspective of a bicycle technician who is learning the technical aspects of how the ear works. This is not to diagnose whether or not you have a problem. This is certainly not to tell you how to treat a medical condition. If you have tinnitus, then legitimately have tinnitus and you know it, this is not the video for you. I am not talking about how to deal with tinnitus if you know you have it. All right. Yet still, I am looking at this from the technical perspective of what exactly tinnitus is and you know, whether or not, how to know if you have it. All right. So I have recently learned about the ear, or am learning about it. One of the things that I've said in the comments is that the ringing in the ears is caused by magnetic induction of the inner ear. So what I am saying is that the non-tinnitus based ringing in the ears is from this here spring. You look at this like a coil, it's a spring. And so as that is receiving this, this right here is the tympanic membrane. Okay, so way up here, you can almost barely see it. All right, so that is the eardrum. As the eardrum receives waves, compression waves, sound waves, it activates like a drum, a tympanic membrane. It vibrates as it receives waves. And it's generally designed for audio waves, which are compression waves. They are not electromagnetic frequency waves. All right. So this is just an introduction to what the ear is. I'm not going to go into it right now because I want to read something first. Not that, not you. All right. So this is what I wanted to read first. Now this comes from the Mayo Clinic. This is their website, mayoclinic.org. And this is diseases, conditions, / tinnitus / symptoms, causes. All right, so I'll put the link in the web, the link for the web page in the description below. All right, so I'm just giving a simple overview of what tinnitus is. All right, so it says here, tinnitus, overview. Tinnitus is the perception of a noise or ringing in the ears, a common problem. Tinnitus affects about 15 to 20% of people. Tinnitus isn't a condition itself, it's a symptom. Again, tinnitus isn't a condition itself, it's a symptom of an underlying condition, such as age-related hearing loss, ear injury, or a circulatory disorder. Although bothersome, tinnitus usually isn't a sign of something serious, although it can get worse with age. For many people, tinnitus can improve with treatment. Treating an identified underlying cause sometimes helps. Other treatments reduce or mask the noise, making tinnitus less noticeable. All right. So they're giving you here a diagram. Look at that. Ba-blam. Of what they're talking about. Now, this was what I just showed you there. The innards of it. All right. The cochlea is this little like conch shell looking thing, spring-loaded jammy jam there, that is what collects the sound. Eventually, that's where it goes into that and kind of ramps up, and then you get that as an electrical impulse. It converts the acoustic or whatever, or in what I'm saying is not only the acoustic, but also the electro or the magnetic signal that's in the atmosphere. All right. So it's within this right here that you're finding these. So these hairs are the damaged hairs. These little dealios here are what picks up the vibrations in the cochlea, and that is what gives you the sense, the feeling of sound in your head. So these little hairs provide little tiny electrical signals into the brain to let you know that there is a sound. All right. So tinnitus can be caused by broken or damaged hairs on auditory cells, right here. Those are auditory cells and those are the hair. Turbulence in a carotid artery or jugular vein, temporomandibular joint, TMJ, issues, and problems in the auditory processing pathways of the brain. All right. So that's basically giving you their view on tinnitus with the little tiny hairs. It's really important to notice that. All right. So symptoms. Tinnitus involves the sensation of hearing sound when no external sound is present. Tinnitus symptoms may include these types of phantom noises in your ears. So you have ringing, buzzing, roaring, clicking, hissing, and humming. So one would think that if it's a problem with tinnitus, really true tinnitus, you'd experience some of these other things in here, not just the ringing, but a buzzing or roaring or clicking or hissing or something other than just the high-pitched frequency that you're getting. I'm suspecting this. I don't know how you could get just the ringing without any of these, but it's possible. I'm not the medical guy, but I don't know. It's a question. The phantom noise may vary in pitch from a low roar to a high squeal, and you may hear it in one or both ears. In some cases, the sound can be so loud it can interfere with your ability to concentrate or hear external sound. Tinnitus may be present all the time, or it may come and go. So, if you have tinnitus, there's not a guarantee you're getting the sound. It would be coming and going. depending on what's around you and those hairs. They're damaged hairs, and they're not sending a signal properly. It seems to me like when you have wires on an electric instrument, and you have wires that you'll get different sounds, and not just like a hum sound. Okay, so it says here there's two kinds of tinnitus. One is subjective tinnitus, and that is tinnitus you only hear. This is the most common type of tinnitus. It can be caused by ear problems in the outer, middle, or inner ear. It can also be caused by problems with the hearing, auditory nerves, or the path of your brain that interprets nerve signals as sound, auditory pathways. Objective tinnitus, and this is interesting, is tinnitus your doctor can hear when he or she does an examination. This rare type of tinnitus may be caused by a blood vessel problem, a middle ear bone condition, or muscle contractions. Okay, when to see a doctor. If you have tinnitus that bothers you, see a doctor. Okay, make an appointment to see a doctor if you develop tinnitus after an upper respiratory infection, such as a cold, and your tinnitus doesn't improve within a week. Okay? See your doctor as soon as possible if you have tinnitus that occurs suddenly or without an apparent cause. Well, that's okay. Okay. You have hearing loss or dizziness with the tinnitus. Okay. All right. So now, again, what I'm talking about here is not to take the place of a trained medical professional, and if you all of a sudden, sense this high-pitched squeal, and it's got the dizziness, okay, have it checked out. All right, that's absolutely great. Now, if and or when the doctor doesn't find anything, then this is what we're talking about. All right, so here, causes. It says a number of health conditions can cause or worsen tinnitus. In many cases, an exact cause is never found. A common cause of tinnitus is inner ear hair cell damage. Tiny, delicate hairs in your inner ear move in relation to the pressure of sound waves. This triggers cells to release an electrical signal through a nerve from your ear, auditory nerve, to your brain. Your brain interprets these signals as sound. If the hairs inside your inner ear are bent or broken, they can leak, quote unquote leak, random electrical impulses to your brain, causing tinnitus. Interesting. Other causes of tinnitus include other ear problems, chronic health conditions, and injuries, or conditions that affect the nerves in your ear or the ringing center in your brain. Okay. So that's where I wanted to go with this. Now, I'm going to just I'm going to come back to this here, but I just want to say I'm going to kind of read through this and then get back to where I should be. So, common causes of tinnitus: age-related hearing loss, exposure to loud noise, earwax blockage, ear bone changes. Okay, other causes of tinnitus: Meniere's disease, TMJ disorders, head injuries or neck injuries, acoustic neuroma, which is a cancerous benign tumor. Then you have Eustachian however you pronounce that, dysfunction, muscle spasms in the inner ear. Then you have blood vessel disorders linked to tinnitus, arteriosclerosis, head and neck tumors, high blood pressure, turbulent blood flow, malformation of capillaries. Then you have medications that can cause tinnitus: antibiotics, cancer medication, water pills, diuretics, quinine medicines, certain antidepressants, aspirins. All right. And then risk factors, or how it can get caused: loud noise damage, age, sex, gender, or sex gender. Men are more likely to experience tinnitus. Smoking, cardiovascular problems. Then we talk about complications. All right, so this is important as well. Complications. Tinnitus can, or we're talking about tinnitus with a small t, not the medical condition, But we are also talking about it here with this. Fatigue, stress, sleep problems, trouble concentrating, memory problems, depression, anxiety, and irritability. Bam. These are all ascension symptoms that people would talk about. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm so stressed. I'm having sleeping problems, trouble concentrating. All right there. So we all can see it. All right. So these right here, fatigue, stress, sleep problems, trouble concentrating, memory problems, depression, anxiety, what they're telling you here, in a general kind of sense, is these issues, what you might call the ascension symptoms, if it's nothing else, you've ruled everything else out, and it's not something physical, these are as a result of the induction, the magnetic induction to that coil in your ear. Now, as we talk about the antenna, the Schumann resonance antennas of the magnetic variety, it's a magnetic induction that's causing that motion and that's causing those hairs to leak a sound, a quote-unquote sound, but it's a nerve that your body is picking up as a sound. Okay. So all of these are nervous things, nerves, emotions, feelings, senses. These are not facts. These are all how you feel, right? Especially trouble concentrating. I'm sorry, what? What were we talking about? Right? Or you're going somewhere to get something and then you forget what it is. What was I doing 5 minutes ago? How can I not remember from 5 minutes ago what I was supposed to get? I'm walking this direction. There you go. Okay, memory problems. Yup, your short-term memory. You talk to someone, you ask them their name, you forget 4 or 5 times. Okay, it's not just you. I mean, it may be, but it's probably not just you. All right. So these here, the complications. That's one of the things I wanted to point as the result of this. Okay, we go back up here. Causes. All right. So the common cause of tinnitus: inner ear hair cell damage. Tiny, delicate hairs move. This triggers cells to release an electrical signal through a nerve from your ear, the auditory nerve to the brain. Okay. So when we talk about it, these crystals here, these are a big thing. These crystals, if they get knocked loose, and I'll show you exactly where they are. You can kind of see them. All right, so here, they're showing you in these dealios here, the fluid. This little picture here, that's what that square there is, right? And this square is obviously that's there. All right. So in here is this fluid, these crystals, which sort of seem to line it, shift. They move. You could get that from any number of things, from a hit to the head, maybe, or they haven't shifted per se. The crystals haven't shifted. What I might maintain is that, I'm going to zoom out. These crystals are transforming and purifying or rarefying. I do not know, I cannot say, I am not the medical professional, yet in relation to the ascension and the ascension symptoms, we're talking about the crystalline structure of the DNA. We're talking about an upgrade in the crystalline matrix of your person, of your body. And so it would be my belief that part of this ringing is, like I said, it's a magnetic induction of the ear. That's in general what it can be looked at. That's the best way to look at that. But what is that telling you? What is that saying? All right. Okay. So the video is now at 20 minutes. All right. So I think I'm going to end this, make it part one, end part one, and then I'm going to have like a part two. I think I need to go outside and have a smoke. So, all right. So thank you for being here. I think part two is just pretty much going to pick up where I left off, and I want to have a great discussion on this. So thank you all for being here, and I appreciate your time and support. Thank you all. And a huge shout out to Wages World and all of his supporters who have shown me love, and all of you individually and collectively. I'm absolutely amazed and floored. I'm over significantly, or well enough, over 1,000 that like this has kind of made a difference. This has made a big difference in my life. I'm moved. I'm genuinely touched. Thank you all for being here, and have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you later in part two. Namaste.